All right, guys. You know what? Maybe I should. All right, let's cover this. We're here. It's Friday, October 10th. I'm Crypto with Paul. You're watching the Coin Zone, but guys, we need to cover what's going on right now. And that is this. What is going on with these goddamn trade wars and Donald Trump? Everyone is freaking out. The markets are freaking out. Crypto is in the red still for the second straight day. But here's what's going on. Are we genuinely going to have an end to altcoin season now because of this? Why don't we just cover this and talk about what's actually happening? Okay, let's just shift to here real quick. This is what's going on in the markets right now. Okay, BNB somehow still up. Looks like, I guess retail is still buying. Amidst all of this negative energy and fear, etc. If I seem a bit down today, guys, I'm actually a bit under the weather, so I apologize for that. Not fun. However, let's just get into this, guys. So this is what the markets are doing, and here's what is going on. So this is from Donald Trump, the Orange Man himself. This is breaking news as of this morning. Some very strange things are happening in China. They are becoming very hostile and sending letters to countries throughout the world that they want to impose export controls on each and every element of production having to do with rare earths and virtually anything else they can think of, even if it's not manufactured in China. Nobody has ever seen anything like this, but essentially it would clog the markets and make life difficult for virtually every country in the world, especially for China. We have been contacted by other countries who are extremely angry at this great trade hostility, which came out of nowhere. All right, I'm going to pause there because if I'm going to be as unbiased as possible, this didn't really come out of nowhere, brother. You were the one who decided to do this. All right, we have a lot of angry Americans at higher retail prices, higher tensions between the United States and China, and short-term other nations, even though we have seen tariffs, quote unquote, really not affect inflation overall. Individuals like Kevin O'Leary will defend that, who is unbiased. He's a Canadian citizen, right? But at the same time, we have seen trade wars like this that end up hurting markets and angry a lot of people. And right now, what it led to is something pretty bad. So this is what China's doing in terms of retaliation. So Trump, I gotta disagree with you there. It didn't come out of nowhere, man. You decided to basically kick this off. Our relationship with China over the past 6 months has been a very good one, thereby making this move on trade an even more surprising one. I have always felt that they've been lying in wait, and now, as usual, I have been proven right. Okay, so he takes the time to pat himself on the back. Is anybody surprised? As you guys know, I've come on here and I've defended Trump in a lot of ways with policy, and I haven't. And that's just me being honest and genuine. That's what we do here. We don't take sides because we're biased, etc. I just try to call it how it is. But of course, the guy and his ego, he has to talk about how he's right about something in the midst of addressing the nation on this. It's kind of ridiculous. There is no way that China should be allowed to hold the world captive, but that seems to have been their plan for quite some time, starting with the magnets and other elements that they have quietly amassed into somewhat of a monopoly position, a rather sinister and hostile move, to say the least. But the US has monopoly positions also, much stronger and more far-reaching than China's. I have just not chosen to use them. There was never a reason for me to do so until now. The letter they sent is many pages long and details with great specificity each and every element that they want to withhold from other nations. Things that were routine are no longer routine at all. I have not spoken to President Xi because there was no reason to do so. This was a real surprise, not only to me, but to all the leaders of the free world. I was to meet President Xi in 2 weeks at APEC in South Korea, but now there seems to be no reason to do so. I mean, in my opinion, there is more of a reason to do so you can come to the table and find a resolution. Trump, I mean, that doesn't really make sense either. You're the guy who is willing to meet with anybody. Now, just because he made you upset, you're not willing to meet with him? You don't think you made people upset, brother? Come on, guys. The Chinese letters were especially inappropriate in that this was the day that, after 3,000 years of bedlam and fighting, there is peace in the Middle East. I wonder if that timing was coincidental. Dependent on what China says about the hostile order that they have just put out, I will be forced as President of the United States to financially counter their move. For every element that they have been able to monopolize, we have two. I'm not reading the rest of this. This is crazy, guys. This is crazy. And this is how X is responding to this so far. Joshua Jake of Discover Crypto just in. President Trump cooks markets. We have Crypto Wendy O being a little dramatic here. Bitcoin is not going to zero, guys. That's not going to happen. But breaking, Trump tariff destroy the stock and crypto markets. Wow. We have Carl Moon, bull run, rugged again. And then we have the Kobisi letter. Absolutely insane. All right, guys, this is literally 2 hours ago. Okay, at 10:57 a.m. Eastern time, President Trump published a massive paragraph that we just read. By 11 a.m., 3 minutes later, this is insane. The S&P had already erased $700 billion of market cap. Is the trade war back? Look at this, guys. This looks like a freaking meme rug on Solana. This is insane. What's crazy is over the past couple months, I've been saying on this channel, find me bearish news, right? Well, we found some. This is pretty damn bearish. This is not looking good. And again, that was the S&P. This is crypto. Everything is red, guys. Everything is down. ADA is below 80 cents. Chainlink still at 21 cents. Sui still around 330. Avalanche still down. I mean, Litecoin is up for some reason. Okay, what is the correlation here? Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, two mining protocols. I don't know why Litecoin is up. We'll maybe find out some news about that. Toncoin, Polkadot up a little bit. That's kind of weird. There's some protocols. Near's up 8%. Zcash up 22%. BitTensor up 15% amidst all this. A little surprising. A little surprising. I don't see a correlation here. BitTensor's an AI. Zcash has been around. I mean, Zcash, guys, look at this. That is absolutely insane. Okay. But interesting to see that Zcash is up. I think it's been doing pretty well in the year. Yeah, up 500% in the year, guys. Very, very interesting. But interesting to see that these protocols are up right now. These are kind of older protocols outside for BitTensor. Interesting to see. But, I mean, this is what's just happening in the markets right now. I asked Grok a question. You know, let's take a closer look at this, okay? Here at the Coin Zone, if you haven't subbed to the channel already, go ahead and do that for me, guys. My bad. We're going to take a closer look, talk to Grok about this. Again, if I'm a little low energy right now, just not feeling the best. So stick with me. I still wanted to jump on and talk to you guys about this. So I asked Grok, you know, based off this Kobisi letter post that we just read and went over, since Donald Trump took office in 2025, how have the trade wars impacted the crypto markets? And how do you think they will affect the markets this time after the paragraph that you just published? Well, let's take a closer look. Since Donald Trump took office in January 2025, the crypto market has been significantly volatile, with Bitcoin surging 50% to over $104,000 shortly after his election, driven by pro-crypto policies and campaign promises to ease regulations. It's from CNBC. The earlier 145% tariff on Chinese imports in April of this year triggered a 10% drop in the S&P and a sharp decline in Bitcoin, reflecting increased risk aversion amongst investors. It's from Cointelegraph. So crypto adoption in affected regions like China has risen as a hedge against economic instability caused by trade tensions, with some viewing it as a long-term safe haven asset. It's from Binance Academy. Trump's recent Truth Social post about a massive increase in tariff on China, posted at, as we know, 10:57 this morning, could lead to a similar short-term sell-off in crypto markets, given the 700 billion market cap wipeout seen in the S&P within minutes. Yes. So if tariffs escalate, historical patterns suggest Bitcoin might initially drop, but could rebound if global uncertainty drives demand for decentralized assets. We have seen this. This is why one reason why gold is surging and Bitcoin are at all-time highs, because people are using these assets as safe havens. So could be bullish, macro zoom out. This is a little short-term event, but it depends. No one knows how long this is going to last for. Okay. The pause of some U.S. tariffs for 90 days earlier this year briefly stabilized markets, but renewed trade war rhetoric could undo that calm, potentially pushing investors towards gold or stablecoins as safer alternatives. Crazy to see, guys. Excuse me. Yeah, this is absolutely crazy to see. But just getting back to it, is this the goodbye? Is this the end to altcoin season? Is that genuine? Is that what you guys think? Let me know in the comments, chat. We might be cooked here. I don't think so. I think we just have to relax and zoom out. This is going to be a short-term little drawdown because of the news, but this isn't going to be a macro shifting event where the alt season is canceled. I don't believe that's going to happen. I do believe that people are starting to get really pissed with Donald Trump because of all of this uncertainty and friction that he is causing. Again, in your post here, bud, you can't just go and blame China for this all. The tariff wars were started by you, and some individuals claim that it's even unconstitutional and the president doesn't have the right to do these things. Congress does, whatever, but I don't know, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Just wanted to jump on and talk about this and explain my side of things. I am starting to get a little fed up with this because it's led to a lot of angry people, a lot of uncertainty. Yes, the tariffs have raked in, I think, close to something like 200 billion. Scott Bessent spoke yesterday and talked about some positive things in regards to the tariffs. And, CNN, very liberal biased news stations have even admitted tariffs have not contributed to inflation in most ways overall. Maybe in some areas like retail, etc., it has. But, this is crazy. Maybe on the positive side, if you want to flip it, this could be an opportunity for you right here in October to buy some crypto as we see a dip, right? Buy the dips. Again, this is never investment advice, but if that's the way you want to look at it, maybe here's your opportunity. We got 5 days typically, historically, until October really flips and we actually start to see gains. So maybe you have like a week left. Maybe this will prolong it a little bit more, depending on how you look at it. But chat, let me know what you think about this. President Trump just cooked the markets. Are we cooked? Is this an insane chart to see? It is, guys. This is actually crazy to see the S&P fall like this in 3 minutes because of trade wars that seem to be back. So that's all I wanted to say. I appreciate you guys for tapping in. This is Crypto with Paul and the Coin Zone. Just make sure to sub on YouTube. We have brand new videos that are coming out. Brand new video that just came out as well. Our Trump and CRO video seems to be doing pretty well. So go check that out. Speaking of Donald Trump, one last time, I know if you guys normally kick it with me on these lives, I'm much more high energy, etc., engaging, just not feeling the best right now. So stick with me. We'll be back in full swing next week. Like I said, go subscribe to us on YouTube in the meantime and watch our long form videos. I appreciate you guys for tapping in. This is the Coin Zone. I'm Crypto with Paul. I hope you guys have a great weekend.